Hello, it happens to be the 8th of December 2015, and the dollar is about to dive. We're looking at the end of an empire and the diving of the dollar. But apparently so will all the other currencies. And what that means is hyperinflation. That's why we got involved in Thrive. Because food will be going up in costs. The dive began 4th January 2016, just as we stated earlier. Now we're going to show you some events and then we're going to tie them together. Here's Putin at a G20 summit meeting in November, where he says exactly what I said. It would be exactly unrealistic to expect a 20-minute meeting held a U-turn in bilateral relations. Basically, here is what they refused to say during this G20 meeting, and that is Putin clearly stated that ISIS is made in the USA. Here's John Kerry. He's meeting with Sergio. They're talking about bilateral agreements. Kerry tells Putin Russia can make a difference. He also told him a few days ago that the United States is no longer supporting the Syrian government. Now let's take a look at this. I want you to look very carefully at these two Kerrys. One, the ear sticks out, one, the other doesn't. Notice how the chin comes down in a V? Notice how he has a fat chin. Notice how the nose goes straight up. Notice how there's a bump on the nose and it flares out. The hair is almost identical. 3 wrinkle lines, 2 wrinkle lines. This is the new one. Look at the differences. Don't tell me the Russians don't notice the wide chin versus the Frank Burns from MASH chin. Smiling, no smiling. But look at the noses. Straight up. A bump. Cheeks. No cheeks. They got more plastic surgery on him than you can shake a stick at. So which John Kerry? Don't tell me the Russians haven't noticed this. Now what's happening today is that the price of oil is falling. More pains for stocks. What's happening is 60% of all stock trading is done by artificial intelligence, and as the Rothschilds try to suck it down, it goes back up again. They've lost control of the stock market. This is crude oil prices over 5 years. Bush, too, took office, Bush Jr. And Cheney made an amazing statement. He says, oil is at $20 a barrel, and we're going to increase it to $80 to $100 a barrel to encourage drilling. It was at 125 Brent crude, which is a really nice crude oil. And then under Obama, it's plummeted. Everything Obama's doing is falling apart. Now let's look what he's trying to do here. He's trying to create a false flag. The Oregon sheriff says, we'll capitulate. Ammon Bundy rejects sheriff's offer to end Oregon standoff. Well, who's Ammon Bundy to speak for the Hammonds? Something doesn't make sense. Somebody wants a false flag. Somebody wants the shooting to start. This happened right when Obama talked about gun control, didn't it? Gee! Okay, let's go back to here. The dollar's about to dive. This is why we buy food, and we're learning that it's really cheap compared to the cost of the food in the outlying areas in Alaska. Oh my God, Thrive is half to a third the price of their food, and it's better. We're looking at the end of an empire, the end of the fascist empire of the United States. The dive began 4 January, just like we said it would. There was the G20 meeting with Putin in November. There was a secret Pentagon meeting in December of 2016 where members of the Pentagon asked Putin to delay World War III and the invasion of the United States. Jim Willey talked about that a little bit. Now we've suddenly got the Hammond Ranch standoff because there is uranium, rare metals, and a big pot of natural gas. And the Republican congressman stood up and gave a speech. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. But DeFazio, Democrat, who's tied into the trade unions, I think he's going to run for cover. Because that's what they are, little cowards. Obama gave the gun control speech where he wiped the tear away from his eyes at the correct signal. We all saw that. U.S. international wars, Obama will demand a revolution and gun seizures and internal wars. There will be 7 more highly publicized false flags starting up in a few days. They're all staged. Obama will attempt to engage the United States military in any war he can. Nigeria, Colombia, Costa Rica. He's doing it in Libya, Algeria. The U.S. military will get engaged everywhere. With the technology to shut down the Aegis system, the Russians have already proven. So the U.S. is running from the Middle East. What do you expect from a fascist government? Obama is running like a coward. Now, we've already seen the opening of Fort Huachuca. It's a test right now. They have 800 FEMA camps to open. I have an idea. Let's put the fascist pigs in the FEMA camps. Pray that the fascist pigs go to the FEMA camps, not the patriots. We're looking potentially at a 25 March nuke launch on the U.S. by Russia and China as approved by Obama. This will mean the destruction of the CIA headquarters with 2 bunker buster bombs and the Pentagon with 2 bunker buster bombs. Not one soul will live. But the United States is trying to kill... The reason is the United States is trying to kill Putin and his staff. That all begins one March through the NGOs and the American Red Cross. Just like the British and Americans did 100 years ago. Same old, same old. This time they're trying to kill Putin. They still want the paperwork under the Hermitage, which proves that the Russian church is superior to the Pope. I know where it is, but I sit here. We've also given them the method to resolve the economic crisis, but they'd rather have war. So pray that the war only affects the warmongers. The dollar will be hollow by 1 June. They've done a very good job at hollowing out the dollar. The overseas dollars will not come back to the United States because the computer chip in the dollar bills overseas is not the same as here. Then, what we're looking at is April and May, variations, huge stock market problems. And 1 June, they're going to say we have to revalue the entire world's currency. Then the Scheist dollar will be issued on or around 1 July. Maybe 1 June. Now, these are planned. It all may begin to fall apart, though. We may win. Then they'll do a second devaluation of the dollar 3 months later. And then a third devaluation. So your $300,000 IRA may be worth $30,000 if there's a bank left and they don't seize it. Remember, the FBI ruled that all money in banks belong to the banks. Everything in a safe deposit box belongs to the banks. So what do you need? You need food, water, toilet paper, ammunition, heat, and communications. 30 pounds of grain per month per person. 1 gallon per day per person. Oh God, get a pile of it. 1 gun and 20 rounds for every person. That's all. You don't need to go ape with guns. You need a way to heat your home, and you need to communicate with your neighbors. Help, help! So that's 30 pounds of grain per month per person. Now here comes the exciting part. Are you ready? We put 3 50-pound bags of rice, and we added 6 pounds of beans, and put it in 6 5-gallon buckets. So you got 3 50-pound bags of rice you paid $45 for. That fits in 6 5-gallon buckets. We added some beans, and we put 2 cups of diatomaceous earth in each 5-gallon bucket. Guess what? For 2 of us, we got 150 pounds of food. That's a lot of food for 2 older people. What was the cost? $120. Then, we bought a couple of 50-gallon drums. Well, we actually bought a lot of 50-gallon drums, but a 50-gallon drum holds 50 gallons of water. For 2 people, that's a month's supply. So you buy a 50-gallon drum, and you have a month's supply of water for 2 people. Now, you can hook up a drain from your roof, but that's only washing water. And every year you drain it out, you put the hose in it, and you refill it. So we actually have 1,200 gallons in the backyard. This holds us for 2 months and costs $120 because the 50-gallon buckets were from a place that milks cows, and they throw the 50-gallon bucket, 50-gallon containers away. Then, after we got the rice and beans, we said, yeah, rice and beans is old after a couple days. You got to rinse them out. You got to take all the diatomaceous earth off it. Then you boil it for 4 hours, and then you got rice and beans. So we went to orderfood.thrivelife.com, and we said, we don't understand this whole system. It's complicated. Nobody explained it to us. So we'd sign up for a gluten-free $100 queue, and signed up as a $139 consultant so we can save more money. Because saving money is really important to us. Remember, all glory goes to the living God, not me. All this money, as soon as we pay off the food we bought, goes to help kids with cancer and autism. So we signed up for a $100 queue a month, gluten-free. We get to choose what we want. We paid $139. We got $250 worth of food as a kicker. And we told them what food we wanted, what food we didn't. So we got $250 worth of food, did the $100 queue, and then we save I think we save about 45 or 50% over Safeway. And if you're in Alaska, it costs about as much per can to ship it up there as it does to buy. But since food is anywhere from 2 to 4 times the expense down here, you actually save more money. All glory goes to the living God, and all profits go to helping kids with autism and cancer. Remember, folks, we have a film. It's called Be Ready. It's on YouTube. It talks about this. It's not hard. It's not even expensive. I mean, what does a 50-pound bag of rice cost? 15, 20 bucks, a couple pounds of beans, a $30 pound of diatomaceous earth. And if there's 2 of you, a 50-pound bag of rice lasts 2 months. For 2 people. But it'll sit on your shelf for 20 years. I mean, it's just rice and diatomaceous earth. Keeps the moss away. So we're talking about $30 to be ready for. And you can buy 2 cups for $10 at a nursery, the food grade. Stuff you feed to your chickens, put on your dogs to get rid of the fleas. So for roughly $50, you have all the food you need. You go to a place a dairy farm, ask them for a 50-gallon water container, or just buy one there. They can be spendy. They can be up to 60 bucks. So you're looking at $120 and you're ready for 2 months for 2 people. That's not a lot of money. And you can eat the rice and beans. It's not like you're storing something you're not going to eat. So toilet paper, God, we got a bunch. 1 pistol per person. That's all you need. We've got wood for our heat. And we have a way to contact our neighbor. Hey, Joe, help! So, coming to you live, Dr. William B. Mount. Thank you. And I hope this explained everything. We're trying to get more explanations in here. Thank you, folks, and good night.